So welcome to another thrilling episode of Darkness Over Dublin, the Changeling venue, where there is a deer butt, fabulous little goat deer butt, and she has spent the night in what is it, Titanials, whatever the heck, Count Lord High Muckety Muck, in his castle, and spent the better part of the morning crying over the state of his library, just weeping blood over the state of this poor library. It's a hellscape. There are Wumblebots that have, reduced themselves to primal behaviors, throwing spears at each other. It's just a wasteland. So she has been doing her level best. The windows there are cast open. It has been, at least given a cursory dusting amidst a great deal of coughing, which is probably what has finally driven her to say, you know what, it is time to take a little break from dying in the cloud of dust and debris that have been stirred up by her attempts to get the place in order. And thus, she will come out of the castle and be trotting her way into the market with probably just a little cloth pouch, the same one he gave her the day before during handout time, just hanging from her wrist, and is clippity clopping her way into the market. Perhaps a bit odd because she is not quite as eager to get into the hardcore mingling. She will give people some measure of space, which is not especially tactically sound in a crowded marketplace. It makes it very hard to get where she's going. But she doesn't seem to mind taking the extra time, and will kind of pick her way along the edges and in the gaps in the crowd, and eventually pick her way around to where she gets to one of the stalls where they're selling fruit and whatnot, handing over a bit of dross in exchange for, a decent little bundle of fruit, I imagine. Because dross is reasonably free-flowing, but I imagine it's not the same as a buck, so she'll get herself a small collection of fruits and whatnot, and promptly hop herself up somewhere where she is out of the flow of foot traffic, and maybe a little easier to pick out, but not getting jostled and whatnot, as she starts work on an apple, just kind of looking over the chaos.
Well, one of the market is filled with all sorts of various changelings of relatively humanesque shapes and sizes. Crib, as he is known, is walking through the market, not for your words. I have them. They're somewhere.
I'm leaving you.
Crib is unlike a lot of the other changelings in the market, for he is mostly comprised of wood and underbrush, his hair matted and long, his skin or bark is green and silver. He has black and purple and red roses and various other flowers growing throughout his long hair, which turns into a cape, much like in the picture here. And he is going kind of from stall to stall, picking up various accoutrements and sticking it in a backpack over his shoulder.
And I assume there are not a lot of his kind of
No.
Yeah.
I am a Ghislaine. Think of me as one of the rare types.
So yeah, that is decidedly new, and will probably catch her attention as people sweep back and forth, handling their nonsense, haggling, talking, chattering. It's a dull roar, really. But he stands out, and I mean, he's even flowering. How can she not be completely distracted by that? So she'll probably watch him go stall to stall at least once, working her way through this apple, and she will pointedly take a moment to crack open the core when she's done, retrieving the pips from the apple and stuffing them into the little bag of dross she's got around her wrist before she discards the core. Actually, all things considered, she's no human habit. She'll discard the core, and she will finally carefully hop down again with another, little chime of hooves onto the pave or the cobblestones, whatever there happens to be there, and start kind of picking her way along because she wants a closer look. Again, kind of standing out, if only because she's very pointedly avoiding the most crowded bits and trying to find clear moments to slip through.
You'll notice people give the tree person quite a berth, mostly out of respect. It's as if he might be somewhat important.
This may well be the case. But she is more wide-eyed than sensible at the moment. And may even, I mean, up to you whether or not he bothers to pay any mind to what's going on around him. But it's very possible she might be spotted before she acts. Does he have anything that's the equivalent to clothing besides, like, the cloak that is essentially his hair woven down his sides?
Essentially that, some breeches, but and a basic tunic.
Oh, she's not going to go tugging on his so-called cape because that just seems rude. That's his hair. That's inappropriate. But sooner or later, he may realize, how tall is he?
It's fairly average size, not
Okay. Not freaking monolithic.
No. Just kind of dude shaped and kind of dude sized.
That works. She's a little on the small side. So sooner or later, as he is going about, probably moving on to the next thing he's got to do, in that nice, clean space around him, there will very abruptly be a semi-antlered satyr who will kind of poke her way around him, looking up with, big wide eyes, bright hazel, who will very admittedly, impertinently ask, "What are you?"
He will look down and smile. I'm... And he'll kind of tilt his head. I'm a Yildu.
And she, the ears kind of give a bit of a twitch. She hears, she processes, she keeps kind of, it's just that kind of big wonderment, wide-eyed look. Not flat, full-on stare right in his face, but just very taken with his overall appearance, apparently. I don't think I've ever seen one of you before.
Not many people have. Most of us are asleep.
Oh. I suppose that makes sense.
And you?
Oh! And she, like, thrusts a hand out, kind of like in that, oh shit, I'm rude. You know, very abrupt, kind of puts a hand out. I'm Pepper.
Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me Crib.
And she immediately spawns just the big, brilliant smile. Some of my friends call me Bambi, but it's Pepper. Either one, though.
That's kind of rude.
She kind of shrugs. He does it out of fondness, I think. Kind of studying. You know, kind of introspective look for half a second. Like, I hope it's out of fondness. Jeez. And she just kind of, if he's still moving, will just kind of adopt walking beside him. So what are you like?
Everybody else?
There's a moderately sheepish grin.
I'm just like every other changeling. We're all unique and special in our own ways.
Well, of course. Still,
And
like, continues clipping along beside him.
I haven't seen you around here. Are you new?
I don't get out much. But yes? Sort of.
So
I'm staying over there. And she, points to the castle recently.
That's good. Tentagel's place is a lovely home.
There's kind of a shrug. It's very big and very expensive. But
Yeah?
kind of beats what I had going on before. So,
Oh, what did you have before?
nothing. Kind of that little cringe smile. I kind of tend to crash with friends, and at least this kind of is a room and board working sort of deal. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
So what are you doing for the Count?
And she is now distractedly, now that she has started, reasonable conversation and it doesn't feel overtly rude, is, just looking, especially at the fact that he's flowering, seems to just tickle her pink, really. Oh, he said he hasn't been in his library for a very long time, and, well, I believe him, because it's desperately in need of, well, any tending. But, he asked me if I wanted to work as a librarian.
Huh. I thought he had one of those already. I guess not.
She shrugs. Doesn't seem like it. I'm pretty sure I left footprints when I went in the first time. So,
On what?
the dust.
Hmm.
I mean, the Womblebots seem to try, but they're very small. And
They
there's
are
a
very.
library.
They're very tiny. But they are fantastic little things.
She perks right up. They are. It's a shame they fight the way they do.
And just stay out of the kitchen.
I saw. It was. She kind of knits her brows for a second. Strangely horrifying.
Strangely horrifying. You don't like Thunderdome?
They literally tear each other apart and wear each other.
Who am I to judge a fancy culture like theirs?
It's not fancy, it's primeval. Tearing people apart and wearing them?
Maybe I'm using the word wrong. I fancy their culture. It's entertaining. It's...
That's okay, Ride seems to like it too.
Who?
Oh, my friend, I usually don't really go out alone, so, Ride's the Lightning. Really, really big Claricon. Really big. You'll know him if you see him.
I haven't seen any tall Chloricons recently.
Oh, you will. You'll probably hear him before you see him.
Ah.
There's kind of a fond grin about her, really. And, yeah, and he was squired yesterday. Same place, so...
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
By the count?
I think her name was Catherine.
Catherine.
Very big troll. Very big.
Ah,
It's a hammer.
yes. I know Catherine.
They seem to get along very well.
I'm sure if she gets along with Catherine, or if he gets along with Catherine, we'll get along fine.
Oh, good. And it's kind of comical how much she perks up. It's probably kind of hard to see from the side, but it's like the tail pops up and wiggles and everything. It's very animated. Does that mean you're friends with the Count?
I am one of his knights.
Oh! There is a pause in the clippity clop for a second as she realizes there's a social faux pas that has happened here. And then probably decides something along the lines of, well, it's done now, and continues walking. So yeah, there's just kind of the comical pause of, oh, that was, well.
Something the matter?
I'm still learning, but I'm pretty sure I've been rude.
If you were rude, I would have let you know.
Oh, good. She takes this fully at face value and even gives like a very small sigh of like, whew. But yes, I did see the kitchens and had to fix up one of the Wumble bots.
Oh, which one?
571.
Oh,
He follows me all around now. He is determined that he owes me a life debt. I'm surprised he didn't follow me into market, but I didn't want him to get trampled.
571. Oh, 571.
He works in the library.
Oh, library's
Immediately.
571.
Mhm.
Not the kitchen's 571.
It's the library's 571, but they seem to all kind of peter down there to do glorious battle.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Glorious, glorious battle.
Can be surprisingly vicious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fixed him right up. Still making friends, seems like.
So you're a mechanic?
Oh, no. No, I don't know anything about that.
Then how did you fix him up?
I healed him.
Ah.
It was a lot slower than when I did it for rides earlier, but, it worked out. The ears kind of pop up a little bit, perked right back up. It just took a little time.
Well, kind of like purse his lips and kind of nod his head back and forth. So, versed in spring.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. There aren't many who have worked on dedicating themselves to that art.
Really?
Yes.
I find it perfectly pleasant. I don't see why anyone wouldn't.
Oh.
I'm still learning, of course, but, I spend a lot of time in, so I practice.
Good, good. It's nice to have someone else with spring. Somebody else who's versed in the art of spring around. Takes the load off.
Seems like it would be an awful lot. You'd think there would be more if there's so much fighting. And so much, well, hurt going around.
That's what it's like to be at war.
Seems a shame to learn that everything can be like this, only to have it be at war.
War is inevitable for us.
I guess war is inevitable for almost anything sentient, it feels like. But it seems a shame to find out magic is real and dreams come true and then find it at war.
Well, every good legend has war, conflict, violence, and aren't that what we are? Dreams and legends?
He earns himself a pout because she can't argue that, but she doesn't like it. So it's a very childish expression. She knows it's not reasonable, but he makes a solid point. So there is just kind of this pouty face. Well, if you have to go and make sense about it.
He just shrugs. It's what we do. It's how. It's awful, but it's what it is.
I guess so. But I did get to ride a dragon. There's a slight bounce in her step as she says that. Kind of the poing.
Not many people can say that.
And again, just the brilliant, big, wide smile. She was very nice about it. I should talk to her more. She offered.
Yeah. The Dragon and Tentagile's place.
Mm-hmm. The silver one.
Yes. Well, I'm glad she is, she's feeling better. It's taken quite a while.
It looked very good. I mean, health-wise. It looked fine.
Did not, she wasn't fine when she showed up.
Got that impression. apparently there's someone. She scratches idly at her cheek as she, tilts her head, trying to recall the details. There was someone who sent a letter, I think, about her, saying he was mad at the Count for stealing from him and would get revenge or take back what was his, something like that.
Hmm.
We actually were talking to her because he came to warn her about the letter.
Oh.
And that this person would come back for her, and I guess it was the person who hurt her. There's kind of a puzzled, I think that's right sort of look.
I'll nod. Oh yeah. I imagine she'd be pissed, considering we did take the dragon.
It doesn't sound like she was treating the dragon very well in the first place, so it serves her right.
It wasn't. And it did.
I believe the dragon said she would eat them. And that was, well, her thought on the matter.
Oh, I mean, dragons are prone to do what dragons are prone to do. And if eating somebody is eating somebody.
She kind of shrugs like, yep, that's pretty much that.
I'm not one to tell the dragon no.
Oh, no, I imagine not. And it sounds like, to be fair, she's kind of doing it in self-defense, so can't blame her.
Oh, absolutely not. So, how long have you been a changeling?
Not very. AKA Katie doesn't know what is a reasonable amount of time, or if someone can be inherently that good at an art, or if it's something she would have had to have time to study. So whatever the shortest feasible amount of time is, really.
You can chrysalis with 3 dots in an art.
Oh, well, hot shit. Then yeah, not very long. Not long at all.
Well, you have much to learn, and you have a good place to learn it.
And again, she kind of, the ears and tail kind of prick up a little bit. The library does seem like a good place to start. I didn't have much to work with before. It was just kind of figuring it out as I went. So, yeah. All in all, it's really nice. There are so many things I haven't seen. And are you, like, she finally, like, can't help, like, are you actually growing those flowers? That's amazing.
Yes, I am.
That's amazing.
I am a spirit of the forest, and the flowers grow like they're going to grow. Not always the same species or variety of flower.
Do you have control over it, or is it just whatever blooms?
A little bit of both.
Like, her hype is so intense. Like, she's practically vibrating. This is the most wonderful thing ever. He grows flowers, and for some reason, this has made her day. That's really, really, really neat. Is that really like she like cranes around to look at him properly because she's been like around his side, around his back even. Hasn't like faced him full on. So she's actually looking, and it's pretty clear that she is trying to determine whether this cape of greenery is actually growing out of his head or if there's some sort of merging point that she's missing or whatever. But yeah, she is obviously like just so taken with it. It's ridiculous.
It is. That is my hair. That is. Well, I guess hair is the best term.
Again, it's kind of an impish grin. Close enough. Do you actually feel it?
Yes.
It looks alive. So if someone touched it, you would feel it, even if you didn't, feel the pressure on the rest of you?
Just like if someone were to touch your hair.
Oh.
It's just the same.
Well, I think it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a very endearing smile. Then I guess I probably shouldn't stay long. Things happen. So I would see you back at the castle sometime?
Yes.
Perks up. And all things considered, kind of offers the small little like parcel of fruit she's gotten herself. Want any?
No, thank you.
Okay. Then I'll see you later. I
Indeed.
should get back to it. I think the dust will have cleared. So
Good luck cleaning.
I will need it.
Well, the Wumblebots are always happy to assist.
They're very sweet. And she'll start kind of do that little hasty step thing to get a couple steps ahead and kind of seeing as again he's got a clear space around him, kind of turns back a little bit, even trotting a step or two backwards to offer him a very chipper wave. And we'll essentially just call it the little see you later and try to start picking her way through. Again, weirdly enough, not really big on the going elbow to elbow and shoulder to shoulder with the masses, kind of picking around to the edge and skirting that way to get back towards where the castle has most recently landed.
Well, this seems like a good place to call it.
It do. So in that case, I will say thank you, player, for playing, and watchers for watching, and we will see you next time in Darkness Over Dublin, the Changeling venue.